What's up, fans of the NBA? It's Dom2K on the mic, and I just got through eating pizza, so if you hear me burping or pausing throughout this commentary, just know that I only do this one time, because I don't have time to keep on re-recording, editing, all that BS. Just wanted to go ahead and get this my commentary out about the NBA Finals. I know it's been about a week now, but that was always the plan anyways. A, because I was busy doing other stuff, and B, I just wanted to let the air clear too, because I kind of wanted to see what everyone was going to be saying about this finals. You know, people are especially with this finals, people are super duper emotional after like the first 3 days. You know, everyone's pleading their case for what coulda, shoulda, woulda happened and all that stuff. So I just wanted to let everything settle before I did my commentary on it, how I felt about it, and so I didn't just go on ranting about it. I wrote down, I kind of did like a question format, which stuff I've seen on the internet, and I was going to kind of answer if it was true or false. And a lot of the stuff I saw was kind of the same, so it only really came down to 5. So I'm basically going to be kind of answering questions also in my opinion. So if, you know, people, fanboys, you know, people don't get biased, people that don't get pissed off at what I say, in my opinion, I'm going to answer whether I think some of these are true or false. I thought that was kind of a fun way to do it. So yeah, first of all, super good job. Congratulations to both Cavaliers and Warriors fans. Warriors fans' first championship in 40 years. That's incredible long time. But, you know, nonetheless, you guys won it. So you're in the history books now. No one can take it away from you, no matter how long it took. And, congratulations to Cavs fans for even making it, because, you know, I'm sure some of you guys, as you know, I just said with the Warriors, your team can literally be garbage forever. Like the Hawks, it was their first time in 40 years making the Eastern Conference Finals, I believe. And yeah, they made it. So you can be bad forever, and you guys have made the finals twice since 2007. So, you know, good job for making it there. And, you know, with the status of the East, I hardly think that this will be the last time that you guys get there, barring any stupid injuries or whatever. So yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get into this and kind of answer some of the questions I've seen on the internet. Number one, I'll go ahead and answer was LeBron James deserved Finals MVP, true or false? In this answer, you know, it's a little bit more than black and white, but I'm gonna say false for this question, mainly because there's a couple of things. I think if you follow my Instagram, you saw that I was actually questioning, like halfway through the series, is LeBron James going to be the first person? Because I always thought the Cavaliers were going to lose regardless, but LeBron James was playing so good, I was saying, you know, is LeBron James going to be the first person saying to Jerry West to win Finals MVP on a losing team? And before I asked that question, I actually didn't know that the only time NBA Finals MVP has ever been given to a person on a losing team was when they first gave out the Finals MVP. And I think that's also before the NBA even had like a president or something like that. I think I read that somewhere. I don't know if that's 100. Don't hold me to that, because I don't know if it's true. But if that is true, that makes a ton of sense, because then it's like, you know, the NBA wasn't really fully structured yet back then. You know, there was only a couple of teams back then. It was no hard rules like there is now with all the media. There wasn't all these rules that go with it now. And you know, before LeBron James even said it, I said it myself. After I thought about it, I gave it some thought, and I was like, I don't think LeBron wants Finals MVP if he loses, because that's almost just like a memory that, yeah, you were so, you know, you played your best, but you guys didn't win the championship. Because no one goes to the Finals MVP just to win Finals. I mean, my bad. No one goes to the NBA Finals just to win Finals MVP. You go there to put your name in the history books that you won an NBA championship, that you're an NBA champion for how many ever times. And LeBron, you know, saying that he wants to be the greatest of all time. He said that a few years ago. I mean, having championships, not just Finals MVP, but championships obviously are going to help that cause, you know, whether people say it is or not. Championship rings help your status with that. But as far as deserving it for this series, here's my thing. I believe that he would have deserved it if he came out and played game 6 like it was a true elimination game. Anybody, you know, screw the stats for a second, because I know people are so set stat lovers these days. I wish people would just watch basketball these days without diving into these super advanced stats. You just watch the basketball game in game 6. LeBron James, for much of the game, looked just as defeated as everybody else on the Cavaliers did. They looked like they knew they couldn't beat the Warriors. And sure, he ended with a monster stat line, but I think we can all agree LeBron was not the killer he had been that entire series. He didn't kill like that in the last game. You know, he looked really nonchalant, but he nonchalantly taking shots, missing shots. He didn't look like he was fully into it. Since he's such a fucking beast, he ended up with a monster stat line anyways, better than like half the league could ever get. But he didn't look like the killer, and he definitely didn't look like the elimination LeBron James we've seen, you know, forever now, since you know, the Celtics, time he did it to my Celtics, times he did it to the Spurs. Like we didn't see that elimination LeBron come out of him. So yeah, and the other thing is, I think Iguodala definitely deserved Finals MVP because, not only was he on the winning team, he was the game changer in that series. Let's be real. Like I said, again, if you watch the game, he contested so many of LeBron's shots. LeBron was putting Harrison Barnes in a post at will, just abusing him. He couldn't do that to Iguodala. Iguodala was fighting him back, poking the ball away, contested all his shots, and I think LeBron also shot a pretty poor percentage. If you guys want to go to stats, I'm pretty sure he shot a pretty poor percentage against Andre Iguodala while he was guarding him. But not only that, Iguodala went on to be a very vital part of the offense too. He was knocking down his shots. He was knocking down the open shots that he got, and he helped. Iguodala came in. He was the player that he was when he was with the Sixers, because he was pretty much a star with the Sixers, and I think we can all agree he played like a star, not a superstar, an all-star, but he played like a star in this game against the in this series against the Cavs. So 100% deserving of Finals MVP. Not that LeBron didn't do the right things to get Finals MVP. It's just like I said, I don't think a losing player is ever going to get Finals MVP. I think that's kind of like an unwritten rule that's just not supposed to happen. And B, like I said, my whole thing was I was judging it by, okay, even if they lose Game 6, if LeBron comes out and at least looks like the killer that he did always in elimination games, then he would have gotten it. But no, I don't think he did. I think that it went to who it was supposed to go to. Didn't go to Steph Curry or LeBron. It went to Iguodala because he was, they won. His team won, and it was in large part because of him. They didn't win another game after Iguodala started. So that's all I really have to say about Finals MVP. You can disagree or agree. You talk about why you disagree or agree, but I think Iggy did a hell of a job. And also, this is an interesting stat I also noticed. This is the second year in a row now where the Finals MVP has been somebody that you would have not have said is going to be Finals MVP before the season started. You wouldn't have looked at Iguodala, Kawhi Leonard before the respective championship seasons and said, oh, these guys are Finals MVP. You would have never said that. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to yourself. 90% of us would not have said that. Not that they couldn't be Finals MVP, but you would have just never, Finals MVP for so long has always been the superstars or superstar of the team. And I think that's just showing that NBA is really becoming more about team instead of stars as it has been. It's been only about stars for a long time, except for kind of the Spurs had stars too, but yeah, it's becoming really more about sharing the ball and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna move on from that one. Okay, number 2, and this is the one that I've seen everywhere. Injuries are the only reason the Warriors won. 100% false. First of all, I think the dumbest thing that I've seen on the internet, I've seen a lot of dumb things, so I'm not gonna say the dumbest thing, but I've seen that the Warriors championship was a fluke. My comment was, I was like, hold up, can a team who won 67 games, had a top-rated defense, and did all of this while playing in the Western Conference, are you even allowed to call that a fluke? Like, is that even... That should be another unwritten rule. If a team does those things in the season, you shouldn't even be allowed to call it a fluke. Because let's just... Okay, I know whatever... First of all, the Warriors saying they didn't deserve it, or that it was a fluke, that's coming from two main camps. That's coming from the Cavaliers side, who had obviously didn't have Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love, and it's coming from pretty much everyone else in the West who claims that they didn't play the best or the healthiest teams on their way to the championship. And I'm about to set both of y'all on fire. Okay, so first of all, Cavaliers / LeBron fans, saying that, oh, we would have won if we had Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving. Look, like I said, I'm not biased. I'm an NBA fan first, and I'm always neutral when it comes to these things. I'm not going to let bias affect what I say, because I'm just going to tell the truth. I'm not going to lie. At the end of the day, like, having Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving wouldn't have made this an infinitely more fun, entertaining, and challenging series. Of course it would, because I'm one of the people where I actually subscribe to the theory that like Mark Jackson said, give me good offense over good defense any day of the week. All right, defense does win championships, but at the end of the day, I think the Cavaliers just showed that it takes points to win an NBA championship. Give me the points. And also, Steph Curry just showed it too. I mean, Steph Curry, they basically won the championship using stuff that I said they couldn't use to win the championship. You see the shit that Steph Curry was hitting? Like, greatest shooter of all time, easily. The wild crossover step back shots. Like, there was no defense that could have ever stopped that. You couldn't have put anyone on Steph Curry to defend those shots that he made. So give me good offense over good D any day of the week. But the thing is, like, I'm not saying it wouldn't have been more challenging with these guys on the Cavaliers, but basically what you're telling me when you say that, that's the reason y'all lost, you're basically telling me that you feel like the Cavaliers could have outshot They could have beat the Warriors in a shootout, outscored them. And I'm not, with the way that they shoot and how deep they are, I'm not really sure there was a team that was going to outscore the Warriors this year. Because let's be real, the Cavaliers, with the absence of Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving, their offense was cut significantly, but their defense it improved, I think, and that's why they were holding a 2-1 lead for the first part of the series, and then they put Iguodala in, and then they let David Lee get some minutes, and that killed that. But they were and Kevin Love is not a defender. He doesn't play good defense, so they played better defense when he was out of the lineup. Now, if you put him in, the Cavaliers aren't going to have as good offense for most of the game. I mean, my bad, it's good defense for both the games, making this basically an offensive battle. And I know the Cavaliers won the only game, the healthy game they played against the Warriors by 11, but like I said, this is the NBA Finals. This is a series, and at full strength, both teams, we still don't know, because of that reason, that they wouldn't have been as good defensively. We still don't know that the Cavaliers would have won that. But in any case, let's just get off the logical hypothetical stuff for a second. When you look at this being used as a main excuse with the Warriors, talking about injuries, the same people that are saying, this finals wasn't fair because of injuries, y'all are the same people that I never see anywhere when there's an injury every single year in the East and LeBron gets to the finals. Y'all never say anything about that. And this dates back forever. 2011, Rondo tore his elbow up. He had the nastiest elbow injury I've ever seen. Shaquille O'Neal had a torn Achilles tendon. Jermaine O'Neal was hurt. Delonte West was coming off of a broken wrist. That was 2011. No one gave a shit. 2012, Derrick Rose tore his ACL. Dwight Howard was out with back surgery. 2013, the entire Lakers team didn't even get a shot. That team that was supposed to, be like one of the legendary teams, the Big Four in LA, they didn't even get a shot because they would never played a healthy game together. Derrick Rose was out again that year. You move on to 2014. Derrick Rose out again that year. Did I just skip something? Yeah, 2014, Derrick Rose was out. Brook Lopez was out for the Nets. 2015, this year, two of the major players in the East, the Heat and Pacers, they didn't even get to make the playoffs and challenge LeBron this year because of injuries. Again, all injuries. And those same people, I never see you guys saying injuries are a huge factor then. Y'all just laugh. Y'all laugh at Derrick Rose all the years he was hurt. People have looked at Miami this year and just ignored the injuries and said, oh, well, it's all because LeBron is gone. They're completely ignoring any injury problems they had this year. But now, all of a sudden, that LeBron's teammates are hurt. That's all I've seen the last few days is injuries. And it's like, wow, that is really, really hypocritical because I never see you guys anywhere when the rest of the East is hurt. That's all. I'm not taking away anything from LeBron and saying that. I'm just saying I never see y'all anywhere when that happens. So for that reason, I'm not saying you didn't alter it, but I'm also saying that's not a legitimate excuse. And for the West, out of the West camp, I'm basically seeing that, the Warriors beat a bunch of teams without their starting point guard. Okay, I can kill all of that. For one thing, the Steph Curry is the first member ever in history of the All NBA first team to win a beat all of the other members of the NBA first team. That's Anthony Davis, Marc Gasol, James Harden, LeBron James. But let's put that aside for a second because that's amazing in itself. The starting point guard argument. Okay, first of all, the Pelicans, were they missing their starting point guard? Yeah. Would it have made a difference in that series? No. I mean, they might not get a sweep, but the Pelicans weren't going to beat the Warriors. Use your brain here. They weren't going to beat the Warriors. They weren't good enough as a basketball team. Sorry, one of those burps. I said it was coming. I called it at the beginning. But okay, the Grizzlies. Mike Conley. That is the weakest excuse I've ever heard in my life. First of all, Mike Conley, yeah, he broke his face and missed game 1. He was back in game 2, and they took control of that series with a 2-1 lead. The Grizzlies had their chance. They won. They went up 2-1. They had their chance to win the series, and they got beat 3 straight times by the better basketball team. That's not anybody. The Warriors won that fair and square, no matter how you feel about that. Then the Rockets saying that, they beat them without their healthy point guard, Patrick Beverley. Hold on for a second. Didn't the Warriors own the Rockets the entire year? Because I seem to remember James Harden saying they weren't that good and they never beat them in their regular season. And you're saying, without their starting point guard, they beat them with and without Patrick Beverley the entire year. And that didn't change anything. And I don't think that was going to change anything throughout the playoffs. I also see people saying that, the Spurs, since they didn't play the Spurs and the Clippers, they're not true champions. They didn't play Spurs, Clippers, and Thunder. So basically what you're telling me is that since they didn't play 2 teams that got eliminated and a team that didn't make the playoffs, they're not true champions. Okay, so that must mean the Cavaliers aren't true Eastern Conference champions, right? Because they didn't beat the Hawks healthy. They didn't beat the Pacers and the Heat. They didn't even get to make the playoffs, which would have been two major players. So if you're one of those people saying that the Warriors aren't legit champions, that means the Cavs aren't legit Eastern Conference champions. You see what I'm saying? I don't believe in any of this stuff I'm saying. I'm just showing y'all how hypocritical this shit is. These excuses are just dumb. Being come up with people who just can't accept that they're never going to be able to change the outcomes of this series. So, when you tell me that injuries are the only reason that the Warriors won, which is the original question for this, you're ridiculous. Because, like I said, this team, 67 wins, top-rated defense, do this all in the Western Conference, played a perfect season the whole year. That with, injuries, sans injuries, I had the Warriors winning this year. I really don't think there was anybody who was really going to beat them this year. I said the Spurs might have beat them. That was the only team that I had beating the Warriors, and we're never going to know if that's true now in this particular year because the Spurs didn't even get that far, and neither did the Clippers, the team that beat them. The Clippers didn't get that far, so, what is that saying? We don't exactly know, and we're never going to know, so that's all up for speculation. So, basically, people saying injuries are the only reason the Warriors won. If that's what you're going to say, then you guys need to crack out a history book and look at all the times injuries have ever fucked over a team, and you need to put an asterisk by every NBA champion is basically what you need to do then. Like I said, I'm not being dumb or biased and saying that it didn't affect it, but that's just not that you can't have it both ways. You can't use an injury excuse when it happens to your team but not when it happens to everyone else. I don't think that's fair, so I'm gonna move on from that because I could go on that for days. I could debate people for days with that. What was the next one? Should I do? Okay, yeah, this is basically going on to the future. So I've seen a lot of things saying, where are the Warriors at next year? Are they gonna repeat? Are they gonna be a one-hit wonder like the Mavs? What are they gonna do? First of all, this isn't a question that I can really answer fully right now. I picked it because of course I want to talk about it, but I don't have a full answer for this right now. Like, I could probably give a better answer for this after free agency, but I didn't want to wait till free agency to do this commentary. But, free agency can change a lot right now. I heard the Lakers are pursuing Dwayne Wade, Clippers are pursuing Dwayne Wade, and the Lakers might get DeMarcus Cousins, but who knows, because the Lakers, they think they're getting everybody every summer. Who knows with that? Damn, excuse me. Clippers might get Paul Pierce, and a big one that I think is actually gonna happen, the Spurs might get LaMarcus Aldridge, and I think if the Spurs get LaMarcus Aldridge, it's over for the rest of the NBA, to be honest with you. That's why I said I can't really answer this one right now. Let's just say at the moment, I think the only... That's not fair to say. I don't know. I think it's going to be a lot harder. Let's just put it that way. I think free agency, with all the things that can change in free agency, because this is a bigger free agency year than I realized. There's some good pieces out there, and there's some people that can be game changers. Like, for instance, the Clippers obviously just choked this year, but I think the Clippers were a championship team before they choked. I thought they were going to win the championship during the playoffs. I know I said the Spurs first, but once they beat them, I kind of had the Clippers winning it. If they get Paul Pierce on that squad, that's going to, they didn't really have a hump aside from themselves to get over. I think they will be really, really strong contenders next year. And say the Spurs get LaMarcus Aldridge, I don't see the Warriors beating a Spurs team with what they have already and then LaMarcus Aldridge. I don't see anybody beating that team. In my opinion, I think chances are slim that the Warriors will repeat, but like I said, I have to see free agency first. If free agency doesn't change much, if LaMarcus don't go to the Spurs, if the Clippers don't improve, I think the Warriors, they played a perfect year this year. If they played a perfect year next year, who knows? But like I said, there's so much that can change from then. So then the other side to that are the Cavs, the 2016 NBA champions, true or false? That I think personally, without injuries, not just with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love, but historically we see LeBron teams are in the offseason. Everyone wants to go there is a thing. So again, that's another thing that's totally up to management, because I've heard Mo Williams and Nate Robinson are potentially some people going to the Cavs. And let's be real, who doesn't want to play with LeBron James? Like I said, LeBron, he's you saw what he did in this finals, right? And it's not just like, he's just taking all the shots. He's doing everything out there, rebounding, assisting, scoring. Who doesn't want to play with a guy who's going to he's going to make you better, especially if you're a superstar. Y'all are going to make each other better. I think the Cavs definitely have a pretty straight shot out of the East, because I know people are going to go play there. I don't know if Kevin Love is coming back or not. That's a big thing. He said he was, but then again, LeBron did say that he couldn't see leaving Miami, so who knows? Who knows yet? But I think a repacked Cavs team, I don't think anyone in the East is going to beat them. I look at the Heat this year. I see they're lowballing D Wade, so I don't even know if he's going to be back there next year. have yet to see how Paul George is going to come back from his broken leg. And yeah, after that, all the Cavs would really have to do is beat the Chicago Bulls, and I don't know what's going on with the Bulls. I know that they're probably a player to get Dwayne Wade, so but I'm not too high on the East, so I think the Cavs are pretty much automatically already back in the finals. Are they going to win it? Like I said, if the Spurs got LaMarcus Aldridge, if fuck the rest of the NBA, that's over. Like, could you imagine that? Like, that's a little bit off topic, but could you imagine that LaMarcus Aldridge on the Spurs? That wouldn't even be fair. I'm not even sure I want to see that, honestly. In a Popovich system with Tony Parker, Tim Duncan's not retiring, and he's still better than half the league, man. Ooh, that would be dangerous. I wouldn't see anybody beating that. So yeah, those two questions, I don't have an answer for either one of those. I'm sorry, I don't. Those, I mean, of course nobody does. It's in your opinion. In my opinion, if I had to name a champion, yeah, I probably would go ahead and put the Cavs, just because I know they're gonna get more players. I mean, hell, I wouldn't even put it past Ray Allen to come play this year, because I know he wants to play in the NBA still. Probably, I wouldn't even put it past him coming back. So, if I had to say, which one was more likely, yeah, I'd probably have my money on the Cavs, just because health and stacking up. Yeah, I could see that. So then finally, I'm going to rate this finals. Where does this final sit? Warriors and Cavs. When we first saw it, LeBron James, Steph Curry, it was hype. It was hype. Even without Kevin Love, before Kyrie Irving got hurt, I think we were still going to see a great series with Kyrie and Kyrie versus Steph. I mean, it was interesting all the way out. Honestly, I hadn't really thought about this before I did it. It's better than last year's finals easily, because last year's finals was boring, but I think we all enjoyed seeing the Spurs win that. The year before that, great set. I mean, that series went 7 games, but it was a little bit that Spurs and Heat. It was all of those were blowouts basically until like the 6 and 7 game. I remember most of those were blowouts. It's like game 1 and game 7 were like the only close games of that series. So yeah, before them was the Heat and Thunder. That was an interesting 5-game series. Even though it was 5 games, I think 4 of those were really good. Yeah, this was one of the better finals. I'd say the Warriors and Cavs, even without the health, this was still. I'll just say that it was one of the better finals. It was definitely better than last year. It was Steph Curry, in my opinion. He's one of the most interesting players, if not the most interesting player to watch in the NBA, just because he's a cheat code. Like how Shaquille O'Neal was just a cheat code back when he played in the NBA. Steph Curry is a damn cheat code. Like, I remember one shot, I think it was 2 shots actually, he hit on Dellavedova in game 5, and I text my friend and I was just like, bro, like, Steph Curry just fucked Dellavedova's whole life up in one shot. Like, it was crazy. That guy's a human cheat code. And LeBron was entertaining to watch too. I see a lot of people hating on I won't say hating, I hate that word. I see a lot of people talking down on LeBron James' field goal percentage, but it's like, well, it was kind of like what I said with Kobe earlier this year. What did you expect? Like, Kobe didn't have good teammates, so of course, like, who did you expect him to pass to? And LeBron didn't have great teammates this year. Who did you expect him to pass to? He kind of had to take all the shots that he took for them to even have a chance. You know what I'm saying? That goes back to what I said earlier, just so you can't misquote me. I said injuries affected this finals, but it's not a legit excuse, because injuries are part of the game. So, like, I don't want to hear that as an excuse all the time, because y'all don't use it for anyone else. But yeah, that's basically the commentary on the finals. I'm gonna preserve my free agency commentary for later in July, because I want to see things happen first. But I mean, I've heard some really interesting rumors, that is going to change the landscape of the NBA. Dwayne Wade, I'll just say, we can see if I'm right in a few weeks, but I think there's like a 60-40 chance that Dwayne Wade leaves Miami. I think there's a 60% chance that he leaves because they're lowballing him, and I think there's a 40% chance that he leaves because that he stays because he's a Heat lifer. He wants to be a Heat lifer, so I don't know with that. And I've heard some rumors about him going to the Cavs, and I would hate that. I really would. I would really, like, people talk about D Wade like he's Amari Stoudemire or something. Dwayne Wade is not fucking Amari Stoudemire. The guy is still he's still better than half this league. Still play basketball, and him, LeBron, and all that in there. I wouldn't even want to see that. That wouldn't be fun to watch. Like, that would be too dominant. But yeah, like I said, different commentary, different day. I'll probably be back with that mid-July. And yeah, next time I do that commentary, we're going to have completely different NBA teams. Rondo will be on the team somewhere. LaMarcus, I believe he's going to be on a different team. Pierce will probably be on the Clippers. And Wade, that's an interesting one. I did not ever think there was a chance of Wade leaving, but now I do. And yeah, I think I'll be able to better answer those last 2 questions. So what'd you think about the NBA Finals? 2015, if you've been watching my commentaries, I said I didn't think the Warriors were I didn't think they were going to beat the Spurs, but of course the Spurs lost, so then that happened. And I also said specifically, I mean, I'll admit, like I said, I'll admit I was wrong. The reason that I said that the Warriors weren't going to beat the Spurs was actually the reason they won, pretty much. I said because I just didn't trust some of the shots that they take. The Warriors, they take crazy shots. Steph Curry, even though they have a good offense in place, Steph Curry takes insane shots, but he makes them. I watched him play, and man, he makes them. So thank you for shutting me up and proving me wrong, because I wanted to see a different, finals this year. I wanted to see something new and refreshing and exciting. It was fun. So, well, you can leave your thoughts about what you thought about the finals, what you thought about anything I said, or any opinions you have in general about this finals. And yeah, if you're just gonna make excuses, I mean, you can do that too. Whatever. I've already told you I don't believe in any of them, because there's so many other people that it's happened to. Like, where were we all then? So I don't know. Yeah, just leave your thoughts about the finals. I think we all got a treat, and hopefully, we can say our prayers every night that we have a healthy NBA next year, because I think we could have something very, very beautiful if everyone could just stay healthy. Like, at least the star players. If the role players got hurt, we could still have a good season. But God, can we please just stop having like the Kevin Durant's and the Westbrooks of the world getting hurt, and Kevin Love? Like, just have one healthy season next year, and man, that could be something serious. I'm gonna say my prayers every single night for that. I'm not actually gonna pray. I don't take it that seriously, but I'm just saying, like, we could have something cool next year. So yeah, leave your thoughts, and yeah, I'll be here to answer them if it's anything that I want to answer. I'm out.